Growing up in my household, as far back as I can remember, we didn't talk about God. You know, as I grew and I got older and I became more aware of the things happening at home, I started to notice that there were things that weren't right. All the marital problems and strife was taken out on us. All that hurt that came from that just kind of formed a lot of who I was. Went down the rabbit hole with that, so got depressed, anxious, all those things. Saw a therapist for it. I ended up getting a career in construction industry. Good things still happened along the way, yet, you know, the main thing was still missing in my life. Work continued, and eventually I had my second daughter. And when the day before I had my second daughter, I was just overcome with anxiety and fear and depression. I just remember crying a lot, and I just remember I'm not living the life I want to live for my kids. And now I got a second one coming tomorrow, and I was terrified. I made the decision that I was going to move forward and live differently. I was reading all about God. I was just you know, who is God, you know, and I did not know, but I was still looking. I would pray and didn't even know who I was praying to. I'd meditate alone and didn't even know what I was doing it for. It eventually got to a point where I remember just being so despaired that I was walking around my neighborhood. And I remember just talking to the Lord, saying, Jesus, I was like, I don't know you, but I'm gonna follow you because I got nothing left. And so I got back from that, and I remember saying to my wife that I need to be in church. And I didn't know fully what that meant. And so she's like, you know, I actually teach a pastor's kid. And so that's how we wound up here in Fellowship Church. She was teaching Jonathan Eichel's son at the time. And when I came here, he helped me and introduced me to who Jesus was and the truth about God. Knowing your purpose and that you're called and that you have a purpose for being here and that God made us, that we're made by God, I was made for God, and I was made to worship Him in what He's designed me to do. That brought a sense of peace and security in me that I've never felt in my life. I felt like I had a lot of stumbling blocks put in front of me in my life. I feel called that if there's any way that I can clear a stumbling block from someone that is keeping them from an improper view of who God is and how much He loves them, then I knew I'd be living out my calling.